Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt the sting of someone else's words? Those phrases that make you second guess yourself, doubt your worth, and wonder if your dreams are too big, too bold, or too far out of reach. Today, we're going to talk about something that hits closer to home than we'd like to admit, the toxic phrases that are spoken by people who may not have your best interests at heart. The ones that try to dim your light, shrink your potential, or break your spirit. We've all heard them before, whether it's from family, friends, or even strangers. I don't believe in you. You're too much. You'll never succeed. You've changed. It's all your fault. Or worse, I can't be happy for you. These words have the power to hurt, to make us question our path, and to stall our progress. But what if I told you that these phrases aren't the end of the road? What if they're a signal that it's time to let go of relationships that no longer serve you and protect your peace? Tonight, I want to take you through a journey of recognizing these harmful words, understanding their impact, and learning how to move past them, stronger and more focused on our dreams. Because no one has the right to define your worth except for you. Let's dive in. When someone directly or indirectly expresses doubt about your potential, it's not just a passing remark, it's a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. The people who truly care about you, those who want to see you flourish, will always be your biggest cheerleaders, even when you don't see the path clearly yourself. They will recognize the potential within you long before you do, offering support and encouragement during moments of doubt. But those who don't believe in you, whether they say it out loud or imply it through their actions, are doing more than just questioning your abilities. They're trying to diminish your dreams. Their lack of belief creates an invisible barrier, a wall they place between you and your aspirations. The truth is, belief is a powerful thing. It's the foundation that holds you up when everything else seems to be crumbling. Without belief, you lose the strength to persist, the courage to fail, and the resilience to get back up after setbacks. It's easy to get lost in the noise of others' doubts. They might not say, "I don't believe in you" outright, but their actions, their lack of support, and their discouraging words send the same message. When people question your potential, they are attempting to impose their own fears and insecurities onto you. They are trying to make you fit into a box of mediocrity because that's what feels comfortable to them. But your growth, your journey doesn't require their approval. In fact, their doubt is often a sign that you are meant to do something extraordinary, something that challenges the norm, something that pushes boundaries. When you're surrounded by people who don't believe in you, it's easy to internalize that negativity. You start to second guess yourself, question your abilities, and wonder if maybe they're right. But here's the thing, their doubt does not define your future. It doesn't define your worth, your potential, or your success. If someone can't see the value in you, it's not your job to convince them. It's your job to prove that to yourself that their disbelief won't stop you from reaching for the stars. The reality is, your journey is not for everyone. It's not about seeking validation from those who can't see your vision. It's about finding the inner strength to trust yourself, even when others fail to. In moments of doubt, look inward. Your belief in yourself, even if it's the only belief you have, will always be enough to carry you forward. Keep pushing forward with the knowledge that the people who truly matter will be the ones who believe in you often before you believe in yourself. And when you prove them wrong, not with words, but with your success, you will have created a path for others to follow. You said, the moment someone tells you that you are too much, too loud, too passionate, too ambitious, too intense, know this. It's not a reflection of who you are, but of how they feel about the energy you bring into the world. People who make such comments are often the ones who are intimidated by your presence because it challenges their comfort zone. They're not used to seeing someone so unapologetically themselves, someone who dares to shine so brightly in a world where dimming your light seems safer. If you've ever heard "you're too much," it's likely because your personality, your energy, your dreams, and your ambitions disrupt the narrative others have created for themselves. For them, your boldness might feel overwhelming, as though it exposes their own fears or insecurities. They may find your confidence unsettling because it forces them to question whether they've been settling for a life that's small and safe. But instead, to ask the question whether they've been settling for a life that's small and safe. And when someone feels threatened by your greatness, they might try to shrink you down, to make you feel like you need to quiet yourself in order to fit into their world. But here's the thing, you don't need to shrink. You are not too much. You are exactly as you should be, and you deserve to take up space. Your energy, your passion, your boldness, all of it is what the world needs more of. It's those qualities that spark change, that ignite the flames of inspiration in others, and that drive you toward the future you're meant to create. Don't apologize for being too much for people who can't appreciate your fullness. You have a right to take up every inch of space in this world. Your passion isn't something to suppress. It's something to nurture. There will always be people who prefer you to fit into a box that is comfortable for them, a box that keeps them at ease. They want you to be quieter, more subdued, more normal, because your vibrance reminds them of the parts of themselves they're not living fully. But why would you shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's mold? Why would you dim your light so others can feel comfortable in their own shadows? The world doesn't need more people who hold back, who second guess their worth, who try to fit into a version of themselves that pleases others. What the world needs is people who boldly claim their space, who express their passions without apology, and who live authentically, no matter how much that might challenge others. But they can accept the permission for their light. When someone tells you that you're too much, it's a reminder that you're not living for their approval, and you're certainly not living for their comfort. You're living for yourself, for your dreams, for your fullest potential. Your energy is meant to light up the path for those who have been dimming their own light. It's meant to inspire those who are still hiding parts of themselves in the shadows. If they can't handle the brilliance you bring to the table, then it's their loss, not yours. My name is Matthews. I'm a producer and the co-producer of this project. So embrace your too much. The world needs more of that, more people who refuse to be silent, who dare to dream big, and who bring their whole selves to the table. Let your energy be the force that moves you forward, and let those who can't handle it fall behind. Don't apologize for being exactly who you are, because the right people will see your greatness and be inspired by it. They'll see your fire and want to stand alongside you, not shrink you down. When someone tells you you'll never succeed, it's not just a criticism of your abilities, it's a reflection of their own limitations and fears. These words are often spoken by people who have given up on their own dreams, those who have settled into the comfort of mediocrity and who cannot fathom a life beyond what they know. They try to project their own sense of failure or resignation onto you, hoping to drag you down to their level of complacency. The truth is, their doubts aren't about you, they're about them. And when you choose to rise above their negativity, you'll quickly realize that their pessimism is rooted in their own unfulfilled potential, not in your ability to succeed. People who utter these words have often made peace with their own limitations. They've either chosen to stay where they are, too scared to take risks, or they've experienced failure and let it define them. Instead of acknowledging that failure is a stepping stone to growth, they see it as the end of the road. And when they see you striving for more, pushing boundaries and aiming higher, their fear of their own shortcomings manifests in attempts to sabotage your dreams. But here's the thing, their doubts don't define your path, and their failure doesn't dictate your future. You'll never succeed is a statement rooted in a fixed mindset. It assumes that the future is written in stone, that potential is a limited resource, and that success is reserved for a select few. But the truth is, success is not a destination, it's a journey. It's not defined by a single moment, a single achievement, or a single person's opinion. Success is about resilience, persistence, and the willingness to continue moving forward even when the road is tough. It's about learning from every step back and using it to fuel your next step, not letting it be the reason you stop trying. When someone tells you that you'll never succeed, they are underestimating your ability to adapt, grow, and rise above challenges. They are blind to the resilience you carry within you. Success is not reserved for those who have it easy. It belongs to those who keep pushing, even when the odds are stacked against them. Every no you encounter, every obstacle that gets in your way, is just another test of your determination. And every time you persevere, you prove that success is not just for the lucky few. It's for those who refuse to give up. These words, "you'll never succeed," are often rooted in jealousy or insecurity. The people who say them may see your ambition as a threat, something that challenges their own complacency or reminds them of their own unrealized dreams. Instead of supporting you or encouraging your growth, they try to impose their limitations on you, hoping that if they can convince you to give up, they can stop feeling the sting of their own unpursued dreams. But you must remember that their inability to see your potential is not your problem. It's a reflection of their inability to see beyond their own fears. The key to overcoming this negativity is to understand that success is not a one-size-fits-all formula. It's not about meeting someone else's standards or fitting into their idea of what success looks like. Success is about defining your own journey, setting your own goals, and finding joy in the process of growth. The people who tell you that you'll never succeed are not the ones who get to decide your fate. You are. And as long as you have the strength to keep going, to keep fighting for what you believe in, success will be yours, not because they believe in you, but because you believe in yourself. So when you hear the words, "you'll never succeed," let them roll off your back. Let them fuel your determination, not deflate it. Let them remind you that you are on the right path, the path that makes others uncomfortable because it challenges their status quo. You are meant for more than the limitations they impose on you. Your success is not a reflection of their expectations, but a reflection of your unwavering commitment to your dream. Keep pushing forward, keep working, and let their doubt become the catalyst for your ultimate triumph. When someone says, "you've changed," it may sound like a simple observation, but don't be fooled. This phrase often comes from a place of discomfort or even resentment. It's not about you changing for the worse. It's about you growing beyond the version of yourself that others were comfortable with. They were used to you fitting into their narrative, staying small or stuck in the same place. And now that you're evolving, they feel threatened. Your progress challenges their status quo, their limited view of who you should be, and it forces them to confront their own stagnation or inability to grow. Change, especially personal growth, is a natural part of life, yet many people resist it, either because they fear the unknown or because they feel that growth is reserved for a select few. When you change, you break free from their expectations, and that can be unsettling. They may have grown accustomed to a version of you that was less ambitious, less confident, or more willing to settle for mediocrity. Now, as you step into your true potential, they might criticize your growth because it makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to see that you are capable of more than they ever imagined. And that is often something they don't want to acknowledge. When people criticize your change, it's often because they haven't changed themselves. They are still stuck in their own comfort zone, afraid to take risks or challenge their own limitations. Your growth reminds them of the work they're avoiding, the things they wish they could do but are too scared to attempt. So instead of celebrating your growth, They project their fear and jealousy onto you, making it seem like your transformation is a negative thing. But you must remember, their discomfort with your change isn't a reflection of you. It's a reflection of their own fears, their own unwillingness to evolve. Personal growth is not about abandoning who you were. It's about evolving into the best version of yourself. It's about breaking free from old habits, old beliefs, and old patterns that no longer serve you. When you change, you are essentially telling the world that you are no longer going to be defined by your past, that you are worthy of more, and that you are capable of doing things you once thought impossible. And that, my friends, is not something to apologize for. It is something to celebrate. For those who criticize your growth, it may feel like they are grieving the loss of the version of you they were comfortable with. They liked the old you, the one who fit neatly into their expectations, who didn't rock the boat, who didn't challenge their own mediocrity. But as you grow, you stop fitting into their mold. You begin to challenge their perceptions of who you are, and that discomfort can lead them to make you feel guilty for wanting more out of life. But remember, their resistance to your change is not your burden to bear. Your growth is a gift you give yourself, and it's something that only you can define. As you evolve, you may notice that certain people can no longer walk beside you. They may try to pull you back to who you used to be because they are not ready to change themselves. They may tell you that you've changed as if it's something negative, but it's their inability to accept your evolution that is the real issue. Those who can't handle your growth are not the people who belong in your future. They are stuck in the past while you are moving forward into a new chapter of your life. And the truth is, change is inevitable. If you're not growing, you're stagnating. Life is about constant evolution. Learning from your experiences, shedding the old, and embracing the new. When you change, you are proving to yourself that you have the strength to evolve, to adapt, and to become the person you are truly meant to be. It's not about pleasing others or fitting into their idea of who you should be. It's about embracing the truth of who you are and the potential you hold. So, the next time someone tells you you've changed, don't feel guilty. Don't let them make you doubt your journey. Instead, take it as a compliment, because it means you're no longer the same person you were yesterday. You're moving closer to your true self, the person you were always meant to become. Change is a sign that you're alive, that you're evolving, and that you're making the most of every opportunity that comes your way. Keep changing, keep growing, and never let anyone convince you that your progress is something to be ashamed of. The people who truly love and support you will embrace your growth, not resist it. And so, when someone constantly blames you without taking responsibility for their own actions, it's a clear sign of emotional manipulation and toxic behavior. The people who say it's all your fault are usually projecting their own inadequacies, shortcomings, and fears onto you. They refuse to acknowledge their part in the situation, opting instead to place the weight of everything on your shoulders. This kind of blame shifting is a way for them to avoid accountability and maintain control over the situation, making you the scapegoat for their own mistakes, failures, or insecurities. This kind of blame shifting takes the form of cheating, sneaking around, making excuses, escaping responsibility. The impact of constant blame is powerful. Over time, if you allow it to continue, you may start to question your own worth, your actions, and your decisions. You may begin to internalize the guilt that isn't yours to bear, doubting your intentions, your character, and your ability to make the right choices. The reality, though, is that no one is perfect, and relationships, whether personal, professional, or familial, are a complex web of interactions where both parties contribute to the outcome. For someone to place the blame solely on you is not just unfair, it's manipulative. It disregards the nuances of any situation, denying the shared responsibility that exists in most conflicts. When you're the constant target of blame, you may find yourself walking on eggshells, always trying to appease the other person or avoid making mistakes. You might feel that you have to carry the emotional burden of the relationship, suppressing your own feelings and needs in order to keep the peace or avoid further accusations. This kind of toxic dynamic creates an imbalance where your emotional well-being is compromised for the sake of someone else's ego, and that is a recipe for resentment, confusion, and pain. And pain and pop. Blame, when it is constant and one-sided, can also make you feel like you're never good enough. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, it's never enough to satisfy the other person. Their criticisms and accusations become the lens through which you view yourself, distorting your sense of self-worth and your ability to make decisions. You may begin to believe that every negative outcome is a direct result of your actions, even when you know deep down that the situation is more complicated than that. This pattern of blame leads to a toxic cycle, one where you're continuously questioned, criticized, and made to feel inadequate. And this catastrophic cycle is one of the major issues we face in life, and a part of building creative and empowering humanity. The key here is to recognize that blame is a form of control. The person who repeatedly blames you without taking responsibility for their own actions is seeking to keep you in a position where you feel powerless. They want you to doubt yourself, to believe that you are the source of all the problems. This emotional manipulation serves their agenda. It allows them to avoid looking inward, to evade their own shortcomings, and to maintain the upper hand in the relationship. But you don't have to accept this false narrative. You have the right to set boundaries, to set firm in your truth, and to reject the idea that everything is your fault. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and shared accountability. When something goes wrong, both parties should be able to discuss the situation openly, recognize their own contributions to the outcome, and work together toward a solution. Blame doesn't foster growth. It only creates division. It stunts progress by keeping both individuals locked in a pattern of negativity where no one feels safe enough to admit mistakes, learn from them, or grow beyond the conflict. It's also essential to understand that no matter how hard you try, you cannot control the actions or attitudes of others. If someone is hell-bent on blaming you for everything, no amount of explaining, apologizing, or defending yourself will change their behavior. They have made the choice to avoid accountability, and you cannot carry that weight for them. The moment you accept that their blame is not your burden to bear, you reclaim your power. You can then make the conscious choice to detach from the toxicity and preserve your emotional health. Toxicity, gone. End of story. In our experience, we find that many a magic wish turns out to be foolish. It's important to remember that emotional manipulation through blame doesn't just affect the person being blamed. It also harms the one doing the blaming. People who refuse to take responsibility for their actions live in a constant state of denial, which prevents them from growing, learning, or improving. They stay trapped in a cycle of self-victimization, which only leads to more anger, resentment, and unhappiness. So while you may feel the brunt of their blame, it's a reflection of their own inability to deal with their emotions, not your character. And every generation from 1920 all the way up to the present has had its feuds and differences and strifes. And your generation, the bottom line is that it's all your fault, is an unfair, toxic accusation that has no place in a healthy relationship. You deserve to be with people who hold themselves accountable, who are willing to own their mistakes, and who are open to dialogue and growth. Anyone who continuously blames you without offering the same self-reflection is not someone who has your best interests at heart. They are manipulating you, and it's crucial to recognize that you don't have to accept their false accusations as truth. You are allowed to let go of the blame, to stop carrying the weight of someone else's issues, and to protect your peace by distancing yourself from toxic dynamics. You deserve to have relationships where responsibility is shared, respect is mutual, and your emotional well-being is a priority. A mirror in your life. Respect is mutual, and your emotional well-being is a priority. When someone tells you, "I can't be happy for you," it's a statement that goes beyond mere disappointment or personal frustration. It speaks to deeper issues like envy, insecurity, and a lack of emotional maturity. It's a painful thing to hear, especially when you've worked so hard to achieve something, to overcome obstacles, and to reach a milestone that means so much to you. In that moment, instead of receiving the support and joy that should come from those who care about you, you're faced with a response that makes you question not just your achievement, but your relationship with that person. At its core, this phrase reveals a significant emotional flaw in the person saying it. True joy and celebration are rooted in selflessness, being able to rejoice in someone else's happiness without the need for comparison or competition. However, when someone says they can't be happy for you, it means they are caught up in their own sense of lack or unfulfilled desires. They are unable to separate their own struggles from your success. And in their inability to celebrate you, they reveal their envy or feelings of inadequacy. They might feel threatened by your success because it highlights the gap between where you are and where they feel they are falling short. Instead of using your achievements as inspiration to fuel their own growth, they use it as a reminder of what they have not yet attained. This lack of support can stem from a variety of places. It could come from someone who feels that your success somehow diminishes their own worth or achievements. They may feel like your win is a reflection of their own failure, especially if they've been stuck in the same place for a long time or haven't pursued their own dreams with the same level of passion or commitment. Instead of seeing your success as a reminder that growth is possible, they view it as a competition, something that they now have to measure themselves against. And that's where the jealousy starts to take root. In some cases, people who can't be happy for you are simply struggling with their own internal battles. They may be dealing with feelings of low self-esteem, insecurity, or fear that they are somehow not enough. When they see someone else succeeding, especially someone they care about, it triggers their own self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy. Their inability to celebrate your happiness comes from their inability to recognize their own worth and potential. They might not have the emotional tools to process their emotions in a healthy way, and instead of facing their own challenges, they project those feelings of inadequacy onto you. It's not that they don't want to be happy for you. They just don't know how to be happy for themselves, which makes it hard for them to feel joy for someone else. Another aspect of this phrase is how it reveals an imbalance in the relationship. Healthy relationships are built on mutual support and shared joy. True friends, partners, and family members will celebrate your achievements because they are happy for your success, not because it serves their own interests or ego. When someone says they can't be happy for you, it's a sign that the relationship is one-sided, with a lack of reciprocity in emotional support. You may find yourself constantly lifting them up, celebrating their wins and offering encouragement, but when it's your turn, they are unable to do the same. This creates an unhealthy dynamic where you are giving emotionally without receiving the same in return, which can leave you feeling drained, unappreciated, and undervalued. It's important to recognize that you cannot change how someone feels or force them to be happy for you. No matter how much you try to explain your success, justify your achievements, or make them feel comfortable with the idea of your progress, their feelings of jealousy or insecurity will persist if they are unwilling to address their own emotions. If they are unwilling to address their own emotions, trying to convince someone to be happy for you often results in frustration and resentment, as it forces you to put your own worth on the line just to gain their approval. And when you do this, you start to lose sight of your own value and the significance of your achievements. The reality is that people who can't celebrate your successes are not the ones who belong in your life. True supporters are the ones who stand by your side in moments of triumph, who share in your joy, and who genuinely want to see you succeed. These are the people who recognize that your success does not diminish theirs. It simply adds to the collective joy and possibility in the world. They understand that success is not a zero-sum game, and your achievements don't take away from their own journey. In fact, their happiness for you becomes a source of mutual inspiration and motivation, propelling both of you forward. If someone in your life repeatedly cannot be happy for you, it's time to question the dynamics of that relationship. Is this a person who truly wants the best for you? Do they support you in your growth and celebrate your milestones, big and small? Or do they only support you when it serves their own agenda? Relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, should be built on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and celebration. If someone can't rejoice in your happiness, they are not contributing positively to your life. So, ultimately, the inability of someone to be happy for you is not a reflection of your worth or your accomplishments. It's a reflection of their inability to process their own emotions, and it's something you should not internalize. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, who share in your joy, and who are excited about the path you're walking. The right people will celebrate you not because they have to, but because they genuinely want to see you thrive. They will recognize that your success is a testament to your hard work, your resilience, and your dedication. And they will be proud to stand beside you as you achieve your dreams. In conclusion, the 6 phrases we've discussed today: I don't believe in you, you're too much, you'll never succeed, you've changed, it's all your fault, and I can't be happy for you, are not just words. They are reflections of negativity, insecurity, envy, and emotional manipulation. They are the markers of relationships that seek to hold you back, not support you. When you hear these words, don't allow them to define you or shape your journey. Instead, recognize them for what they are: signs that certain people are not aligned with your growth, your purpose, or your happiness. That's all for now. Let me know what you think by reaching out to me via email, which is michael@michaellewis.com. The path to success, happiness, and personal growth isn't always smooth, but it is yours to walk. As you continue on your journey, surround yourself with people who celebrate your light, who believe in your potential even when you can't see it in yourself, and who are genuinely happy for your successes. The right people will empower you, not limit you. They will be there to uplift you when you fall and cheer you on when you rise. Don't waste your time explaining yourself to those who seek to bring you down. Don't justify your dreams or shrink your ambitions to fit into someone else's comfort zone. Your worth is not dependent on their approval. The only person who needs to believe in you is you. And once you do, nothing will be able to stop. So remember this: you are worthy of love, support, and respect. You are deserving of success, happiness, and every good thing that comes your way. Anyone who cannot see that who cannot embrace your growth, your joy, and your brilliance, doesn't deserve a place in your life. Let them go, silently, without argument, and keep moving forward toward the life you were meant to live, surrounded by those who see you for who you truly are. Thank you, and may your journey be one of strength, growth, and endless possibilities.